Well, it is now 2025. I hope you all had an amazing break, but it is time to get back to work, back to some volume in the market so that we can trade seriously for the rest of this cycle. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Bitcoin price action, the weekly open, and where I think price is going to head next for the rest of the week. And if you're lucky, we might also cover one altcoin. But before we do that, I want to get into the news so that you're aware of some things that we need to keep an eye out for before we head into trading this week. So if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am Annie and this is 𝗟𝗵𝗃𝗶𝗶. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And whilst you're down there, hit that like button to let the YouTube algorithm know that this is the kind of content you enjoy. So before we get into the Bitcoin price action, let's just take a look at some of the news that is going on at the moment. We've got a few news events coming up to be aware of this week. On Tuesday, we have ISM Services PMI and JOLTS job openings, and that is just ahead of Wednesday, 8th of Jan, unemployment claims and FOMC meeting minutes. Now, the FOMC meeting minutes don't usually have a huge effect on the market unless, of course, there is anything in those meeting notes that act as a surprise that wasn't covered at the last FOMC. So it's still worth keeping an eye on. Thursday, we have a news-free day, and on Friday, we have the non-farm employment change and the unemployment rate. So pending no nasty surprises in the market this week, we may actually end up with a whole week trend in one direction. There is nothing there that screams me potential midweek reversal just yet, but that of course is going to be reliant on no nasty surprises in that FOMC meeting minute or no nasty unexpected results from any of the other things that I mentioned. This article here, however, is putting out a little bit of a warning that the Fed's rate decision may slow the momentum on the Trump-led Bitcoin rally, and that whilst we're expecting that the inauguration might spark another Bitcoin rally, there are concerns over the federal rates and the FOMC influence might dampen investor optimism. Now, the next FOMC meeting is actually on January 29, and the probability that the new federal rates will fall between 425 and 450 base points is still on the higher end at 88.8%. Meanwhile, the likelihood of rates staying within the 400 to 425 base point range is 11.2%. Not everyone is massively worried about that. This article says Donald Trump is potentially quietly preparing for a crypto power move. And whilst we're all waiting for these upcoming events like the FOMC and the CPI, macro expert Luke Grumman suggests that President-elect Donald Trump should hold off announcing plans for a US Bitcoin reserve on his first day in office. He believes that revealing such a plan too soon could lead investors to front-run the government, driving Bitcoin prices higher before the US secures a position. Well, I've got news for you, my friend. We've been in Bitcoin a hell of a lot longer than this. We don't need an announcement to buy Bitcoin. We front ran you a decade ago. And you know who else is front running the US government right now? The Bitcoin whales. That's who. The Bitcoin whales raised the BTC call options to 100K in expectations of a new rally when Trump takes office on Jan 20. On Saturday, Amber data revealed that a trader on Deribit spent over $6 million to secure $100,000 strike call options set to expire on March 28. The surge in whale activity reflects broader market sentiment, with traders also heavily favoring $120,000 strike call options. And you know who else is making big moves? Ripple is making big moves. So Ripple CEO credits the Trump effect for surge in US jobs and partnerships amid industry optimism. Ripple Labs has unveiled a significant shift in its operations, with CEO Brad Garlinghouse announcing that 75% of the company's current job openings are now based in the United States. This move comes as Ripple accelerates deal making and partnerships domestically, surpassing the number of agreements it achieved in the 6 months prior to the November 24 US presidential election. Analyst Ali Martinez is actually predicting $11 for XRP in his chart here, showing that we are in a bull pennant currently, and if we break out to that, the target for XRP is going to be somewhere around $11. He says until the $2.73 resistance is broken, a pullback to $2.05 11.5 remains possible before a potential breakout to $11. Ali. We will take a look at the XRP chart, but before we do that, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart, because as we know, we need to get an understanding of where Bitcoin is first before we can have a look at the overall market. Now, I'm down here on a small time frame today. I'm on the 1 hour time frame to show you how the pattern is playing out so far. When we zoom out on this, you can see that this was the M formation that caused our 3-level drop to the 4-hour support at 91,700 kind of range, and we created from there our W formation, which last week, if you were trading, this was a really hard trade to get. We did catch it in the TTC Discord, but it gave us a really nice strong move up, and then it took 100% of that move right back. But if you weren't in there, which that would have been an extra aggressive entry and not the best idea, after this we actually had a perfect entry here on a very low time frame signal. I'll show it to you on the 5-minute time frame, as that is what we entered off, and it was right here. So this part that created the higher time frame second side of the W formation, on the 5-minute time frame, it actually created what is called a trapping volume formation, where we trap the volume to the downside and then we just consolidate sideways, not returning to that area. And so that extended period of consolidation right there becomes your area of interest to take a long position. So that's where we grabbed that inside the private community. If you're wanting to get on your trades nice and early, consider joining us at TTC. There is a link in the description of the video. But back to the 1 hour time frame from now, let's see what happened since then. We got our move out to the upside, and that then created the 1 hour time frame W formation. We then got our retrace, which we expect after the level 1 typical move right here. Price broke the 50 EMA with high volume, made a run for the 200 EMA. That is textbook. That is exactly what we expect when we trade this model. And then it came back for a retracement. I actually posted about this retracement area on Twitter as well, because it was the holiday period. I did put out this alert to let people know that that's where I think we should go long. This was the post here on December 31st, where I said Bitcoin's looking like it might break out soon, but at the time potentially could only be short-term trade, and we were looking for a short-term move back to around the 99K. So this was the chart at the time. The community were in here, and a break and retest was the second chance to get in, which was this right here, was the end result of that analysis. So from there we got the level 2, we got the level 3, and that took us into our weekend trap zone. So this level 3 belongs here. And from the weekend we also got the perfect, most easy to identify false move week beginning, which was this stop hunt right here that just broke below the weekend trap. So anybody who had opened a long position over the weekend anywhere in this sideways consolidation would most likely have their stop loss just underneath the consolidation. And this is how the false move week beginning works. It spikes just a little bit lower than where it anticipates everyone's stop losses will be. It takes them out. At the same time, it triggers pending short orders that might have sell limits just below this price. In case it broke down, they want to open short positions. They get trapped and price moves quickly to the upside. So that is a very typical play. If you've never seen it before, if this is your first time watching this channel, we talk all the time about the false move week beginning, and the purpose of it being to stop out anyone who dared open a trade on the weekend before the market maker moves in the direction that they actually want to. We don't often get it as textbook and as easy to identify as this, so this really is a perfect example of it. And if it's your first time seeing it, definitely keep an eye on it. Now, since then we've had our move up in Asia to create the initial high of the day. That broke above our high of the week. That's a good sign, but we now want to retest and ideally hold above it, which is what looks like is happening right now. The UK session at the time I'm filming this still has 3 hours to go. UK's job is to run a trend, a slow trend, and as we can see, we are running the slow trend currently to the downside. I'm not too worried about that, because that could just be the retracement and the US might open and continue another level to the upside. So all of this here might act as a reset. Because our 3 levels played out after this W formation, we went into consolidation. The false move was to the downside. It is possible that this right here is the beginning of a new 3-level rise, but I would be counting it on the 15-minute time frame simply because it's Monday. So we can see here on the 15-minute, that's the false move week beginning right there that created the left side of the W. We created the right side. We've moved up through here, had one retracement, moved up through here, another retracement. We would expect there to be at least one more rise. Sorry if you can hear the ambulance in the background, but we would expect there to be one more rise. There is liquidity up there. There were previously short orders waiting at 100K. Let's see if they're still there. Yes, we do have them, but we also have buys down here, and these buys are at 98,500. So that shows us that there are buys wanting to hold 98,500 as support. And so that's around here, just above the 15-minute time frame 200 EMA. So even if UK continued to trend down a little bit more, as long as it didn't break below the 200 EMA, I would say that we are in the 15-minute retracement after level 2, and there should be one more rise to go to take us to around the 100K level. And if we get that today, then we may be in the beginning of the 3-day swing already, meaning that there is continuation to the upside. However, you would still have to reassess tomorrow, because the 1-day trend that happens after the false move, it can end between Asia to UK, which has already happened here. It can also end between UK to US, which is why you have to watch that session open later on today. And then it can also happen Tuesday as well. So it can drag out a little bit longer. And how you know is by counting your levels. So like I said, we can see that there are two. We would expect on the 15-minute time frame that there should be one more. And because we can see the shorts waiting at 100K, and we can also see liquidity up there, it kind of makes sense that there still will be continuation from this point. But whether or not it's going to be short term and continue beyond today, that's what we have to reassess at the session changeovers. There are only a few days left for you to trade to win an iPhone 16 with BingX. This is an exclusive offer that we have, Trade Travel Chill combined with BingX, where you can trade to win yourself an iPhone. Now, new users in addition to that will also get a 50 USDT bonus, but that is as long as you are the first 100 users. So if you want to be part of this, the instructions are in the description of this video. There's 2 things that you need to do. You need to, number 1, use the link in the description of this video to create your account. That link does get you a 20% trading fee rebate for life. And then in addition to that, there is the second link to register for this comp. So you just need to be logged in once you've created your account, and then you just need to click on the link and it will automatically register you. For trading volume, you earn different rewards, and once you get to the final one, you will win an iPhone 16. Now, when we have a look at the dominances here, with the Bitcoin dominance, we've got a beautiful breakdown. We got the retest. This was the area of interest before the holidays that I mentioned to you guys to keep an eye out on. The 50% area was exactly where we wicked through, could not get above, and then we've fallen away ever since. We just want to now see this continue to drop, because if it continues to drop, our alts are okay. At the moment, it's creating a higher low in comparison to this, so not great, but we want to see this trend continue to the downside if it's going to be okay for our altcoins. The USDT dominance is not really doing anything, still kind of flatlining at the support level, so not a lot to talk about there. When we look at the others chart, this is looking really good. It came into our area of interest, it held support there, it's moved out, it's created a higher low right here. Again, same as the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance, we want to see continuation to the downside. The others, we want to see continuation to the upside. That is where our confidence in our altcoins will grow. But finally, I want to show you the Solana dominance, how things played out in the end. If you've been watching this channel for a while, if you've been keeping updated with my analysis, and you will know that I signaled this to you a long time ago, that Solana dominance was in this wedge, which was bearish. And as you can see, from the final touch to the top of that wedge resistance, we did get the breakdown, and we got the breakdown exactly to my first target at about 2.64%. Amazing work here. Now we are retracing to the 200 EMA. So what we need to be careful of here, this is great for Solana having a bit of move to the upside. However, it can also just consolidate. If we want to keep investing in Solana, or we want to continue buying Solana, we really want to see this move up above the EMAs now and be able to hold above it and basically invalidate any further downside, because we are at risk right now of this acting as a retracement back to the EMAs before further downside to the next target, that's not going to be great. I don't think that's likely. I'm just sending you a warning of what to look out for. I think it's probably more likely that the damage here is probably done, and maybe with enough time we will break above those EMAs and the trend will just continue. My reason for that is because when we look at the Solana price action, we'll look at it on a higher time frame. It's looking great here. You know, we had a really nice trend. We had the pullback to our area of interest, basically exact. If you don't watch this channel, I don't know why. We're very accurate over here, but you are watching this channel, that's why you just heard me say that. But between the 50 and the 61.8, the 200 EMA, we had so much confluence in this area, and that's why it was our target. People came for me on Twitter saying, Solana will never go below $200 ever again. Where are they now? They're silent, aren't they? They're silent. But anyway, we did it. We did it. We came down to like 180 kind of region, and we have nicely bounced out of it. I would have been more confident if we bounced above these EMAs with volume. So this isn't a high volume bounce so far, so we do need to be careful. But if we draw just a simple trend line like this, it does look like a break. We are pending a retest. If the retest holds around the EMAs, then this would be the start of further move to the upside. So it's starting to look great, needs a little bit more confirmation. When we look at XRP, I do see opportunity here, to be honest with you. I don't know if I would be buying new XRP at this price, but if you are already a holder of XRP, to me, when I look at this chart, it looks kind of fine to me, and I would expect eventually some sort of continuation. When we connect the highs, we can see downsloping trend line, which means that we're creating lower highs. That's not fantastic. But when we connect the bottom, we also have higher lows. So we really are just in a triangle, sort of symmetrical, not exactly, but we're just in a triangle. And being the daily time frame, this is going to take time to play out. But if it continues to range like this, then yeah, we should get a breakout and continuation to the upside, especially considering this lower trend line is lining up with the 50 EMA. That's great. And it's also lining up with the bottom part, the unrecovered remaining part of this green vector right here. So XRP actually does look quite good, to be honest with you. And if I was holding XRP, which I am, I would continue to hold it to see what happens and if we actually get that breakout on this one.